Good day, everyone. Now, listen, being able to write a headline that qualifies and converts is one of the most valuable skills you can have in marketing. And that's because if, like a lot of other business owners, you're struggling to bring the right kinds of avatar down your sales funnel, you're getting broke, unqualified prospects who don't even know why they clicked through your funnel in the first place, then the chances are you've got a terrible offer headline that's speaking to all the wrong kinds of people. But the good news is you could be a few simple word tweaks away from fixing this problem once and for all. So in this video, we're going to go through the 3 simple steps you need to write a 7-figure headline for your business. And if you watch the video till the end, we're also going to review some current headlines in the market and look at how I would personally improve them right now. Now, first of all, why is a good headline so important to your business? That's because when people click through your funnel, it's just the first impression they're going to get of your brand. It's going to say you're going to have authority and the amount of trust you can build with someone. So it's going to like qualify and disqualify your lead flow that's coming through. And it's also going to go on to create like excitement for the next step. That's the whole point of a headline and a page in a sales funnel is you're not trying to sell some specific outcome. You're just trying to tell them I'm making the next step with you. And that will be to get them through from your opt-in to your VSL or next sales page or whatever it is. Now, the reason why having a good headline is so important as well, because there's an old saying that I heard a while ago about marketing, and that's like, if you don't speak to anybody, then you're not speaking to nobody. I.e., if you're not hyper specific with who you're looking to target and convert down your funnel, and you're not really calling them out or offering something that they would, be of interest to them, then the chances are you're just not speaking to anyone. And so that's why you're not actually converting your audience down the funnel, basically. And also, a good headline as well can make such a huge difference in the conversion of your funnel. Like, I've literally seen good headlines add like 10 to 20% conversion to things like opt-in pages and VSL pages as well. It's honestly quite ridiculous the amount of change it can make. So, just for example, like if you're getting 10,000 visits, say a day to your opt-in page right now, that could be the difference between getting 1,500 contact details or getting 2,500 contact details, which is huge. Then go to think on the rest about you go and think about the rest of your conversion down your funnel. That could be tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, in revenue, depending on the size of your business. So, how do we actually go on to write one? Now, there's really 3 key parts to making a great offer headline. So, this is just an example I've drawn up here, and we're going to kind of break down how I came up with this. So, we've got coaches, consultants, and agency owners. Learn how you can get your next 60 qualified appointments guaranteed using our bespoke AI appointment setter in the next 30 days without shadow banning your Instagram account. So, what have we got here, right? First of all, the first thing you're going to want in your headline is your call out. Now, this is where you're going to basically call out the kind of people you're looking to speak to and convert. And you're then qualifying that audience as well. In a way, it is you're going half the way to qualifying your audience. And that's because the reason I say that is not everyone reads very well when it comes to sales funnels. People are just glancing at your pages, right? So just because you've written coaches, consultants, agents doesn't mean that that's everyone is going to go through. You might convert some other people who didn't read that headline. They just saw 60 qualified appointments and I don't know, they weren't paying full attention, right? So you are somewhat qualifying, but not completely. And yeah, so a call out as well, it doesn't necessarily have to be a demographic, but a call out can also be a problem or a solution that someone's looking for. And we'll go through another example of that later and what that kind of can look like. But a lot of people typically call out just like demographics, like business owners or sales reps or coaches, consultants, but you don't have to call out a demographic. You can target a wider net of people, but also by calling out things like people who are in problem awareness stage or solution awareness stage. And we'll go through what that looks like later as well. The next bit, the most important bit of the headline, this is your big promise. So this is what you're going to promise to deliver your clients if they go through to the next step with you. Now, there's a few bits of this to really break it down further. And that's you've got your mechanism and you've got your time frame as well. So if we look at the example I gave, for example, we've got learn how you can get your next 60 qualified appointments. That's the promise. The promise I'm making is you're going to get 60 qualified appointments guaranteed. That's another thing you can throw in there as well, using our bespoke AI appointment setter. That's the mechanism. So you're getting 60 qualified appointments. How? Using our bespoke AI appointment setter, the mechanism. And we've got the time frame in the next 30 days, i.e., when you're going to get 60 appointments using our AI appointment setter in the next 30 days. So that's how that works. Now, your big promise can be improved in kind of 3 ways. Number one, the more specific you are, the more likely you are to convert someone. Because people are drawn to seeing specifics. Someone wants to know exactly what they're going to get out of it, right? It's not just enough to say, here's how I can make you more money, because what does that mean? That you're going to make me $10? You're going to make me $50? You're going to make me $100? No, you want to be specific. Here's how, in the next 60 days, I can make you $150,000, right? Hyper specific. So the more specific you are, the better your headline, the better your offer, the better your promise is going to be. Number two, don't go into use any overcomplicated language, right? Now, something I've had to learn about marketing recently is that the more simple your language is, the more likely it is to convert. And that's because if you use complicated, fancy language that some people aren't going to understand, then you might rule out those people who might be qualified to actually buy from you, and they might not go through you because they've not resonated with your language, not resonated with your offer, and so therefore don't actually convert. So be just super, super simple with the language you use. Just dumb things down. Like, you can dumb things down dumber than you think you can go. There's a great example of this later, and we're going to look at how that works. And the third point is you can also qualify through the language you use, right? So obviously we talked about in the call out about how that's like to qualify who you're looking for. And that's why I said it'll kind of qualify, because the second way you can qualify is by using demographic specific language that only those people would understand, right? So for example, in the one I've written out here, we've kind of qualified, not only have we said coach, consultant, agency owners, but we've kind of qualified by saying qualified appointments, and we've also said bespoke AI appointment setter. So if you think about that, no one who isn't one of those things is going to want that. Like, if some just normal person comes through the funnel and they see 60 qualified appointments and AI appointments, they're like, what the hell is this? I don't need this. I'm out of here. So we're qualifying our audience by using language that only they would understand. And so, yeah, you need to really understand what your market is, who you're looking to convert, and just use niche language within your niche and within your market that only the right kinds of people are going to understand. And typically as well, like the more, I was talking about being simple with your language, but in this stage, sometimes the more complex your language can be, or the more targeted language can be, the higher caliber of person you're actually going to get through your funnel. But you have to be specific with how you use that. And then, last of all, on the bottom of our headline, we've got the additional footer or the additional claim that you're making to back up the big promise you just made. Now, there's going to be a few different things. There's no one way to write a footer or to write a secondary claim, but typically what works really well is something like what your audience doesn't work, or what your audience doesn't want. You've just given them a huge promise. Learn how you can make £15,000 a month with trading in the next 30 days. Right? Huge promise, big delivery. But they're going to be skeptical at that point. There are going to be things that are thinking, this sounds too good to be true. Is this really what I want? I'm scared of doing this, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of skepticism after you make someone a big promise like that. So you can typically follow up with some things that they're not going to want. So for here, someone who might have utilized some appointment setting infrastructure before, for example, might be scared about getting their Instagram account bound through cold outreach measures, stuff like that. So we're going to reassure them that we're not going to get them that. We're going to say, here's how we can do it without getting your concerns in the way, basically. So without shadow banning your Instagram account. So we're addressing any potential objections they may have, any concerns they may have, so that they don't feel fearful about making the next step. They've already been reassured that, okay, I'm actually safe. Like, he understands what I've tried before. He understands what I don't want. I'm kind of feeling more secure to make the next step with whatever this business is. Yeah, or you can simply make a big follow-up claim as well. And yeah, there's no way you can go about it. There's a few things you can kind of put in your footer and your claim, but that's just one way to look at it, really. So I've got another example I've written down here to kind of like reinstate what we've just gone through, right? Agencies struggling to scale past £50,000 or $50,000 per month. Our system will increase your revenue by up to 70% and half your cost per lead in 60 days or less after we implement our two-step paid acquisitional funnel, all paid on a performance basis. So what have we got? We've got the call out. And this is what I talked about earlier, right? We're calling out not a demographic, but we're calling out a problem. I was speaking to agencies who are struggling to scale past $50,000 a month. That's a problem awareness niche, right? So we're kind of qualifying through the people who have got a specific problem that we're looking to solve. Our system will increase your revenue by up to 70%. Again, hyper specific. It also shows that you know what you're talking about because you can get a very specific result. You've done this before, and that's the result you've got with people. So you're being hyper specific with it. And half your cost per lead in 60 days or less after you implement our two-step acquisition funnel. There is so much going on in this headline and this big promise. So let's break it down. So obviously, we've got the hyper specifics with being increasing revenue by 70%, halving cost per lead. What is that? Right, that's qualifying language. We talked about that earlier. That's qualifying our audience through using language that only they understand. I.e., a normal person's not going to want their half cost per lead. I don't have any leads. Why would I want this? So we've qualified our audience again through using language that only our target market is going to understand. Given them a specific time frame, i.e., 60 days, and we've given them a mechanism. How are we going to achieve this for you? By implementing our two-step paid acquisition funnel. Now, it doesn't matter, like the mechanism name doesn't actually matter what it's called. I've just kind of made up that name, honestly. You don't have to be specific. It's like, I've just made it up. That's our mechanism. You're going to learn how it works on the next page or when you come and join working with us, basically. And then finally, we've got the big claim to that as well, or the follow-up claim, sorry, which is it's all paid for on a performance basis. So that's kind of like a follow-up claim you can make. So yeah, that is basically how you can write a high converting and qualifying headline for your business. So now I'm going to go on to look at a few kind of examples that I've seen in the market over the last couple of days and look at how I personally would have improved these for these businesses. So this is an offer I've been aware of for a while now. It's an expert professional copywriter. And his current headline, it's okay, but there's quite a few things I would change in it personally. He's currently got 100% free video reveals how to go from 0 to 10K a month writing simple Word documents. Work from home without experience or hard costs. It's not bad. It's not bad. But here's what I would have changed it to. 100% free video reveals how I went from broke 9-to-5 corporate worker to selling 10K plus a month worth of Word documents to high value businesses without cold calling, expensive startup costs, or any previous experience. Now, to the untrained eye, there's some very, well, it looks like there's only a few changes in here, but some of the things I've actually done are very, very subtle and are going to make a big difference to the kind of people that will come through this funnel. So here, let's look at the changes we actually made, right? Number one, we went from how to go to how I went. We're talking about it from his perspective rather than making an informative statement onto the audience, right? There's a big difference in marketing between saying, here's how you can do this. Like I'm telling you, you need to do this, or this is how I did this. Do you want to do the same thing? Right? People are going to buy in so much more to someone who's done it for themselves and are saying, would you like to learn how I did it? As opposed to saying, this is what you need to do. Because it's like, it's kind of like separating the outcome from the person. So it's basically including a display of social proof rather than just tagging a statement onto the audience you're watching it. It's like, this is how I did it. If you want to learn more about how I did it, click through the page and you're going to learn more about how it works. Second as well, it's transformational. So rather than just saying, here's how you do this, it's like, no, here's how I made the transformation for myself. How I went from broke 9-to-5 corporate worker, something that quite a lot of people might resonate with. You might want this offer. They might be in corporate jobs right now and not making the money they know they want to. So they're going to resonate with that, resonate with him being in a position and then making a transformation for himself. How I went from broke 9-to-5 corporate worker to selling 10K plus a month worth of Word documents. So it's a transformation. And that's super important. Secondly, the second change we made, we changed 0 to 10K to 10K plus a month. Now, that may seem completely like nothing. That might seem like nothing, but it's actually quite big. And here's why. Because if you think about who's going to resonate with 0 to 10K, it's going to be people who are making $0 now, right? Because who wants to go from 0 to 10K? The people who are making 0. They want to go from 0 to 10K, right? So you're only going to be targeting an audience who are already broke, which might not be the best type of leads to convert down your funnel. So by saying 10K plus, we're not eliminating the people who might already be close to that mark. right? Because another kind of people you might be ruling out is if people come to this page, they might be making 8K a month in their corporate job, but they're not happy with it, right? They're not working remotely. Don't have the expansion for growth any further. But why would someone click through a page that's already making 8K a month if they think the maximum barrier is 10K a month? They're like, well, I'm not going to click through this page and buy this course to make an extra 2 grand a month when I could just do that doing something else, right? I could try and make 2 grand a month extra in my current job. So we're not eliminating those people. We're now including them in that statement by saying 10K plus. Again, very small, but very, very specific. So yeah, we're not eliminating people who potentially are going to be qualified and want the offer, but we're kind of ruling them out through our outcome. The final thing I did as well was add in high value business at the end. Now, not only does this give greater context to the 10K, like how are we doing this? Like, because someone might read that first headline and think, well, where the hell am I going to sell these Word documents to? Like, am I selling them to schools or like local shops or restaurants? Like, who the hell am I selling these things to? So we're getting more specific, and we're also adding status and expectation through association with high value businesses, right? People want to do work that's associated with good things, with things that are higher than them. So if they think they're selling their work to high value businesses, they're more likely to buy into that and see that's something that they might want to do, rather than just like making money with Word documents. What the hell does that mean? So that was example number one. How to go from 0 to 10K a month writing simple Word docs to how I went from broke 9 to 5 corporate worker to selling 10K plus a month worth of Word documents to high value businesses. Now we'll look at one more example, and that is a trading example. So I came across this quite recently. The current headline is 100% free on-demand training reveals the foolproof strategy I've used to consistently make cash in the market over the last 9 years without any trend lines, support and resistance, or airy-fairy indicators. Now, to be honest, it's actually not bad. I can see this working okay for them as it is. But there's definitely still quite a few changes I would make. So first of all, we actually changed the call out, or well, it's not a call out in this case, but it's more of a claim. We're putting the claim first. And rather than just saying some free trading reveals, we're now saying 8-figure funded trader reveals, because we're giving status, authority, credibility. Why the hell are you going to want to listen to me? I'm an 8-figure funded trader. It's more specific, right? The one simple, repeatable strategy he used to consistently make $123, $1,000 a month in the markets over the last 9 years. So a few changes here, right? We've changed cash to $123,000 a month, i.e. being specific. Because what does cash mean? Are you making $100 a month, $500 a month, $5,000 a month? Be specific about it. Cash can mean anything. And also we're being more descriptive with what the mechanism as well, right? This says the foolproof strategy. Now, whilst that does create quite a lot of curiosity and potentially intrigue, which why it's not too bad. Personally, I would be more specific with it. So we're saying the one simple, repeatable strategy. What does foolproof mean? Right? Foolproof could mean anything. Right? That's such open for kind of description in your own head that people aren't going to know what that means. So instead, we said the one simple, repeatable strategy. People know exactly what this strategy is going to be like now. They've got an idea in their head. It's going to resonate with them much more if they think, yeah, that's all I need. I just need a simple, repeatable strategy rather than some foolproof strategy. And last thing I've changed as well, very, very small change, probably wouldn't make a huge difference to any KPIs or metrics or anything like that, but something I do think would really resonate well with the trading audience is rather than saying or without any airy-fairy indicators, is I've changed that to or without any nonsense guru indicators. Because I know I've been in the trading space before. I know that one thing people really hate is these wacky indicators that gurus online sell. They don't know how to trade themselves. They're selling some random indicator that doesn't really do anything. So I think people would resonate with that humor a little bit more than they would airy-fairy indicators, because I don't think, like, one of the big things in marketing is you want to share an enemy. And in this case, we're showing the enemy of gurus selling indicators. So that's just a small change I would have made to that as well. But that is pretty much it. Yeah, those are the changes I would make to these headlines. And this is very similar to the system you can use yourself to write a 7-figure headline for your own business. I hope you got some value out of that. Take care. I'll see you in the next video.